Hey everybody, Heather here. So we're going to be coloring this super cute Magnolia image called Tilda with Love potion. And she is available in the store. If you want one, head over and grab one, and I'll put a link down in the description box. And remember, they are limited, so I only cut out so many, and then when they're gone, so I can work on a new one. I've already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. Okay, so I'm going to start out by outlining my image, and this time I'm going to use W0. I'm switching it up. So I'm just going to take that and go all the way around my image. So I'm going to color in between her legs. She's got a little spot right there that shows. And we're just going to go all the way around my girl. And I don't worry if I get it on her because it's pretty light. So I'm going to, when I color the other colors in, it would color over it. Or if I was really worried about it, I could take my colorless blender and erase it. We're just going to go all the way up here and up here, and you can go around some of these little bubbles up here, these cute little hearts. I think I'll go ahead and just do that now. And I just make a little spot in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in that little triangle and work my way back around. And back up, and she's got a cute little flower in her hair. Let's go around that. And back down the other side. Go around the bumps in her hair. She's got some cute little curly hair cues in her hair. And back down to the bottom of her shoe. Alright, so next let's go ahead and add some ground, and for that I'm going to use E87, 84, and 81. And I think I picked these colors because they match the paper I picked. They're not a normal ground colors that I would pick, but because the paper was a greenish yellow color, I picked these to go with it. So I'm going to start with my E87 and turn my girl a little bit here. And I want to start a little bit up from her shoe. I don't want to start right underneath. That way it looks more realistic, like she's got a little bit of space there. And we're just going to flick away. And as I'm flicking, my pen picks up at the end, so it's lighter out here towards the edge. Then I'm going to grab E84, and I want to go over the top of that last color and go past. And again, as I'm flicking away, I'm picking my hand up, and it's making the ends of my lines a lot skinnier. And then we're going to go with E81, and again go over the top of those colors, and you can go out as far as you would like. And I think I'll brush out this way a little bit more because her hair is there and she's kind of leaning back a little bit. And then I like to go back after I've done that and take the darkest color and just put my shadow back in a little bit. So this is E87. So next, let's go do her skin, and for that I'm going to use E11, E21, E00, E000, and for her cheeks I'm going to use R43, R20, and R30 today. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here on her legs. I'm going to start with E11 first, and I'm just going to go right along with a small line underneath of her skirt. And then I want to go down the inside of this leg, and she's got a little knee dent there. I'm going to put that on. And we're going to go clear down here to the bottom of her shoe. And same with this side. We're going to go down the back of her leg. And we're going to go down here and along her shoe. And then she's got this little knee right here, so I'm going to go ahead and go underneath that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab E21. And I want to just brush over the top of that last color and pull past just a little bit. So I'm laying my pen down on top of the E11 and I'm flicking out away from it just a tiny, tiny bit. And we'll flick down this way. And then E00. And just go work my way down here to the bottom of her shoe. And I got a little bit there on her shoe, but I'm not worried about that because her shoes are going to be black, so we'll just color right over that. And this is E000. We're just going to fill that section in. And I got a little bit of a line up here, so I'm going to go up here and just brush over that just one more time, just to soften that line. Okay, and then let's go up here and do her arm. So again, I'm going to start with E11, and I'm going to go right next to her sleeve of her dress, and then I want to do the bottom side of her arm, and she's got a little elbow thing right here, so I'm going to color that, and then we're just going to work, and then for her hand, I'm going to give her hand just a little bit of an indentation right here. And then we're going to grab E21, and again, put down on top of your E11, and then just lightly flick up. I'm just going past my last color just a little bit. And then we're going to do E00. And then E000. I think I'll actually take my E21 and just go right around her hand right here where she's holding the cup. Just give it a little bit of a shadow there. And then E00 over the top to soften it. And then E000 again over her arm just to blend that line out. Okay, then we're going to work on her face. So again, I'm going to go with E11. And let's start down here in her neck. And I'm just going to give a little dab of that right here in the crease of her neck. And then I want to go along her brow line. And down this side. And over here to where I started her neck. And then I'm going to grab E21, add a little bit to her neck. And then we're going to brush right along this line to soften it. And then I'm going to use this marker to go along this side of her face to darken that up just a little bit. And then E00. Oh, let's fill in her neck. Got a little bitty patch still there. I'm going to brush this on top of that line, softening as we go. And brush this out. And again, for her face, I'm not worried about blending too much because I'm going to add the cheek color, and this is E000. And then I'm going to go back over it. Okay, so now let's add some cheeks, and for that we're going to do R43 first. And she's got these great little dots here already, so I'm just going to brush in between those. And then R20. And then R30. Okay, and then I'm going to go with E21. And I'm just going to brush right here from the side of her face because it's kind of tipped down on this side. And then brush up on this cheek a little bit. And then same for this side. Let's just brush a little bit less on this side. I'm going to E00. And I'll brush over the top of that entire cheek. And same for this side. Now I'm trying to blend my lines just a little bit more here. I don't want to have quite such a harsh line. And I'm going to fill it in with my E000. And then if her cheeks had gotten too light, I would go over them a second time, but because I added that R50 or 43 in there, I think they look pretty good. So now let's work on our hair, and for that I'm going to use E18, E09, E08, and E13. I'm going to start with my E18 first, and let's add a little bit of shadows. Go see if I can zoom in just a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to start up here at the roots of her hair, and this again is E18, so I'm just going to flick right from that part and just add a few little streaks here. And I want to flick this way too. Okay, and then right here, her hair kind of comes out from behind her other hair there, so I'm going to put a little bit of some shadows right in here. Darken this one little section up just right there. Okay, and then I want to darken up down here where it's touching her clothes and where it's coming out from behind her cheek, just a little bit in there. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for this side over here where it's coming out from behind her cheek. And I try to do just a small line first and then flick away from that so I don't color her, because I'm a crazy colorer. And then right here she's got a little bump where her hair looks like it's dipping in, so I'm going to go ahead and add a few little streaks right there. And then of course underneath on the bottom side I'm just going to add a little bit. And here's another little bump. So let's give that a little bit of color. And then let's go, this little section right here looks like it's coming out from behind her hair, so I'm going to give that a little bit. And let's do a little bit right here where her sleeve is touching her hair. And I want to do where it's touching her dress. I'm going to add my little line there so I don't color her dress, because if I get it on her dress I'm not going to get that off. And right here, her hair looks like it's kind of dipping back in, so I'm going to go and add some there. And right here where it's dipping back out. And, oh, let's do this little streak just a little bit. And let's do a little bit on this one, maybe a little bit down here. Okay, I'm liking how that looks. So now let's grab E09. We'll go back up here to the top. Just start adding some color in. Maybe pull my colors up just a little bit more. And I try to keep my brush going in the direction that her hair is going to, because it's kind of falling over there at the top. Okay, we're going to go up here. And then from this section, let's brush this one up a little bit more. And as I pick my pin up, it's kind of I'm getting lighter out at the end. And I'm just going to work my way down, clear to the bottom. And down here, these little curlicues are really small, so you got to kind of be careful. I'm going to fill this one in because there's not much space left. Maybe add a little bit of this one on both sides. And my little curlicues down here. And I think I'll bring this one up a little bit. Okay, I'm kind of liking that, but I think I'm going to add a little bit right in here. Kind of bring that up a little bit. Okay, next we're going to go with E08. I'm going to go back up here to the top. And I'm going to brush some of that. Like that. I'm going to turn my girl a little bit so I can flick a little bit better. Kind of keep my line a little bit skinny. I'm trying to pick my pin up a little bit more so I can have it be a little bit skinnier here at the end. Okay, we're going to do this side. I need to kind of round the corner here. just going to work our way down here to the bottom, leaving a little bit of white for our last color. Be careful not to color her shirt. And I'm going to color this little curly cute in. And let's color in this little section right here. Alright, and then we're going to go with E13, and I'm going to fill it in. We're just going to work my way along. And you can leave some white space in there if you would like. Like that. And just work my way down to the bottom there. And then after I get it all colored, I like to go back with my darkest color and add a little bit of shadows in. So I'm going to grab E18 again. And I usually just add a few streaks. And they usually are a little bit skinnier, and they tend to go out farther than they did the last time. And let's get this side. I just add those wherever I think I need those. There, she's got cute red hair. So next, let's go work on her dress. And for that, we're going to use Y26, Y21, and YR30. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my Y26 and add some shadows. So let's just go right along this cute little line she's got for her sleeve and the bottom of her sleeve. And then I can kind of see the inside of her little dress there, so I'm going to color that in. And then I want to go underneath of her sleeve too. And then let's go over here and start at her shoulder. And she's got a few little wrinkles here, so I'm going to kind of exaggerate those and bring my color in to her dress a little bit. And come down here. And I'm actually going to bring this shadow line down here into her dress. I think I'll brush this in just a little bit more with my feather strokes. Okay. Then I'm going to grab Y21. And we're just going to color right over the top of that. And I'm going to go ahead and bring her sleeve up just a little bit. And she's got a little bit of her shoulder showing over here, so I'm going to grab that right now and just color that in. Okay, I'm going to go down here. We want to soften the edge of this underside. And then we're just going to brush this color out here more towards the top of her dress. Okay, then I'm going to grab YR30. We're going to fill it in. And it's looking very blotchy. That's okay, because I'm going to go over it again. So I'm going to grab my Y26. And we're just going to go right back over that line. Underneath of her sleeve there. And then Y21. Work my way back around. I'll bring this side down just a little bit more. And brush over the edge of that line, softening it up. And then fill it in again with YR30. And on my dress, I actually left some of these lines back here on the back, just a little bit to give it a little bit more of a shadow, like that. Next, let's go to our shoes, and for that we're going to use N9, 7, 5, and 3. And if you don't have the ends, you can just grab some of your other grays. That would work too. So I'm going to start with our N9, and this shoe I'm going to go right along her sole, or right where it touches her heel, and come around the bottom of her foot there. And then this side we're going to do right along the edge of her foot, just a little bit. And then down here, I'm going to come bring this out here along her sole. And then on this side, I'm going to do a little bit right next to her foot. And that looks like enough of that color. We're going to grab N7, and I'm going to fill in this side of her shoe where it's touching her foot. I want to be careful. And then we want to brush right along each of these little lines just to soften them just a little bit. Soften this side. And I think I'll bring this color down the back of her shoe here. Like that. And we're going to go with N5. And for this, I'm going to fill in this one clear down to her sole. And then I'm going to pull this color up a little bit. Fill in this side a little bit more. And we'll cover up this side. And I think I'll actually do this side just a tad. And over here, I'm going to fill this in anyway. That'll leave me a little patch on the top of her shoe there for some highlights. And then N3 to fill it in. And that perfectly covers up that little patch of brown that I colored from her skin onto her shoe on accident. So next, that leaves us with this cute little glass up here. So let's go ahead and color that first. And for the glass, I'm going to color the whole thing C0. I'm just going to go with my C0 and color this whole thing in. Like that. And then for the liquid in the glass, I'm going to use R2 and R1. So I'm going to start with my R2. And I left a little bit of space around the glass so it looks like it's kind of got a thick there. And I just went up like this, my R2. And then I filled it in with R1. And then depending on how dark you want it, you might want to go over it again. So I'm going to grab R2. Darken it up. And then R1 again over the sides to soften it. And then for these cute little hearts, I'm going to use R37 and 35. So let's go ahead and take R37 first. Oh, and she's got a little flower over here, so I'm going to go ahead and give the little flower just a little flick in the middle. And then I'm going to give each of these little hearts a little dab of my R37. And even these ones down here in the glass. And then I'm going to fill those in with R35. And then later you could go over them with some stickles or some glossy accents would look really cute on this glass. And we'll just fill those in. And I didn't worry about the little bubbles or anything in between there. Alright, well there's our finished Tilda with Love potion. Doesn't she look adorable? And then here is the finished card. Super cute. I've added some banners up here, and both of those are popped up so they're not touching the card. And then the cute little flowers also popped up on top of her, which she is popped up. And then I added some Spica glitter pin to her hair. And I actually never got around to adding the stickles, but I should probably put some stickles up here on these hearts and maybe some glossy accents on this glass right here. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today, and if you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.